Hello, my name is Tomio, and I'm here to represent and present the Dungeons and Broncos Club. First and foremost, we are a tabletop role-playing club that frequents Dungeons and Dragons the most, as the name suggests. However, we do more than just D&D. In the past, we've had games in Pathfinder, Starfinder, Genesis, Shadowrun, D20 Modern, Monster of the Week, and others, and we eagerly await and invite all other types of TTRPGs. However, knowing these game mediums is only half the battle, and our other primary focus is on the community. Like other college clubs, we have an Engage portal set up. Though we do send out emails, we primarily use Discord, a messaging platform to house our community. Both can be found through the QR code here. I recommend signing up through Engage as well as the Discord server to keep your ear to the ground. 4 different positions keep the club on track, and each of which have their own purpose. In descending order, I'm the DM officer. Though on Engage, it's the membership relations officer. I talk to both players and game masters or dungeon masters and ensure that the creation and recruitment of games goes smoothly. Adriel, our master of tomes, is the organizational officer. She is the one that deals with both physical and online materials in our possession and shares what we can with the public. Harper, our treasurer, is the financial officer. She is the one that discusses the budget for when we need it and works hard in hand with the resources that the club has. Tyler, our Lord of the Reach, is the club president. He ensures that the club and the other officers are doing its jobs well and picks up the slack where he can. Though the club itself is fairly young, Tyler is not the first to present the club in its entirety. 4 years ago, when the club began in the fall of 2017, the club began and was run by Aaron. He did his best Atlas impression and created a foundation for the club that we still use today. However, we've had a few bumps on that road. Older members of the club will remember when we still had access to the CID, the second floor of the Albertsons Library, as our primary place to congregate. But our loss of access spread us out. And you'd be hard pressed to find someone who wasn't affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, the sole reason why we're having a video this semester rather than a meeting. But among the best silver linings that we've discovered is the formation and improvement of the MakerLab, now a close associate of the Dungeons and Broncos Club. Located in a small corner of the CID, they continue to grow and develop. From 3D printers to sewing machines to lessons on all they have to offer. Check them out by visiting their website here. If you even have the faintest curiosity, give them a visit. Now, before we jump into the nitty-gritty of what the club can offer, we want to ensure that first and foremost, our community is welcoming and safe. With the ongoing pandemic, club games are most likely going to be hosted online. But for those of you in the niche position to play off campus, we want to make sure everyone gets the notice. In regard to the pandemic, keep your health and the health of everyone else around you in mind. Our policies are the university policies, and you can look up what Boise State has to offer and say about the pandemic, either through their website or through the mass emails. The information for both protection and prevention are out there. Do your research. This also goes hand in hand with your mental state. As a club, we can only provide and do so much, and a topic as sensitive as this is usually out of our jurisdiction. Boise State's website on health services has been included here as well. There's support out there, and it's always within arm's reach. Along the lines of beyond the club's limits, there are still ways you can ensure the problem that you may have is reported as such. Listed here is a student conduct report form. There are other ways to go about reporting information with mediums and listings for different situations, but know the option is still out there. In regards to off-campus games, if you are traveling anywhere for a game, make sure you not only have a ride secured to get to your destination, but also ride back. When meeting with new groups, always tell somebody unrelated to the group itself where you are and when you plan on leaving. In regards to the Discord server, pay attention to both Discord's terms of service and the club's rules channel in the welcome folder. We want to be an inclusive community, and we ask those who join to understand this before anything else. In regards to your fellow players, DMs or any peers, understand that people have boundaries and different levels of comfort. Keep each other on the same page. There's so much that can be said about fundamentals and nuance of decency that I cannot cover it in its entirety. So I'll keep it brief. Keep your communication open. But among the concerns of companions comes what we are all here for, the games. There are two types of games that the club can currently offer: campaigns and events. A campaign is a long-term and awfully weekly series of sessions with a connecting narrative by DM and players alike. Events are games with a more narrow amount of time to grant a faster pace and a greater variance in atmosphere. A campaign can be a series of events, but the comparatively sporadic nature of events does give it an independence that campaigns cannot offer. A term you may have heard of before is a one-shot, which is an event that takes the time of all but one session. And perhaps to clarify further, a session is essentially a unit of time that most TTRPGs use, representing what's accomplished or unraveled in a single setting. What the club can offer, however, is often as sporadic as events, and any kind of game that will become available will be showcased in the announcements channel on Discord. The availability of games go by quick, so keep an eye out for any openings. The best way to get into a game is to, well, put yourself out there, and it goes hand in hand with putting yourself out there on the club Discord, the LFG channel. Use this not only to introduce yourself, but to also let other DMs know that you're looking for a game. You'll have better odds of getting yourself into a game when a campaign surfaces. Which leads to our next topic, the DMs themselves. To really talk numbers, we currently have approximately 120 members on Engage and over 200 members on Discord. I love those numbers, and I love to see those numbers climb, but the players and people that give this community backbone are the DMs. The influx and surplus of players is potential waiting. What the club needs and will always need are people with ideas, games that they want to share, and run with a community who eagerly awaits to dive into their creations. If you find yourself in a position where you have both the time and drive to begin your own game, talk to me. Both veterans and recruits should talk to me first in order to get a game off the ground sooner rather than later. Regardless of experience, I will talk to you to get an idea of where you're at, and depending on your familiarity and comfortability, you'll be at session 0 in no time. Last but certainly not least, know that we are all still human. We are also college students, and our time is often as pressing as yours. Our responses are usually not immediate, and sometimes we also make mistakes. We are volunteers, and we want to provide what we can in order to share our love for this shared hobby. But on the subject of mistakes, let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. Either write in the comments or ping me in Discord to share your questions or concerns. We'll try to answer it either way. The club is ever evolving, and we want to ride that wave of change. For everyone a part of the club, to those of you who have been around for years, and to those of you who have just discovered this little trove of community and hobby, you're always welcome around here. Roll high, stay safe, and welcome to the Dungeons and Broncos Club.